Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Advance here, and welcome back to some more Star Citizens. Now today, going to take a look at the F7CM Super Hornet. Now there is a few in the range of the Hornet range, but I've decided to take a look at the Super Hornet for the very reason it's more than likely going to be the one that's going to go into the actual dogfighting module. So first impressions, striking. Does look very good, I must admit. Actually, and I actually decided to put it in this hangar because I felt the lighting was a little bit better than the other two hangars as well. So you get a slightly better, you know, you can actually see underneath in this one rather than the actual pitch black. Now, first of all, let's have a quick look at some of the stats. We have 0-ton cargo, so it carries absolutely nothing. Now, that's not saying that you could make it modular later on and put some module in there you might be able to carry some sort of load. So, but at the moment, 0 tons. 2 people, which I suppose is quite significant. They're saying at the moment that the second person that will be there won't necessarily have a role. So what I mean by that is you can fly this on your own with 2-seater and still quite easily be able to, you know, dogfight in it. So that's not a major, you know, it's not like you have to say, look, it's got 2 seats. My friend's not always going to be online, so I'm not going to pick that. That's out of the question. Star Citizens are saying that, you know, if it's got 2 seats, and obviously everything is built to either take an AI or take nothing, and you still better use it, and you still better use everything the ship's got to offer. So that's a good thing. So, would I go for the 2-seater? Actually, it's a good question, actually, while we're on that one. I don't know, actually. I probably wouldn't. I'll probably go for the single-seater. For no particular reason, because if I had this sort of ship, it's more like dogfighting on your own. It actually might be quite good fun to take your mate with you, actually. But there's not much you could really do, is it, with all fairness. Moving on from that, we've got 4 upgrade slots. It's got 4 power plant. Don't really know what that means yet. We'll have to get more information on that further down the line. The actual main thruster itself's tier 4. Just to give you a sort of comparison. I think the Avengers got a tier 5. But obviously, it's a larger ship, so that should make some sort of difference there as well. It's got 8 tier 2 maneuver thrusters, shields of 4, quite a lot of weaponry on board of this one. It's got 2 class 1s, 2 class 2s, 2 class Talon Stalkers, and it's got 2 class 4s. And it has a jump engine as well. So it's quite a capable ship actually, with all fairness. Let's go and have a look at the front first of all. Now, my first observation, when I first saw this, I don't know what you thought, guys, look. The first thing when I looked at that fan, I thought, and that side bit, I thought, what about when an asteroid blows up or debris flies in there? There's like a fan in there. Doesn't seem like, you know, I was trying to justify why that would actually be there. And I just can't work out why. If it's cooling, I understand that. I don't know, do I understand that? Because obviously bits can fly in it. I mean, you could say the same with these vents here. These are ducts. It says there on the side. I think it's up here. It says jet intake. Yep, danger. Goes without say, really. The good thing is you don't think you can get sucked in there because you've got little vents there. So I'm sure it'd be pretty painful if you did, though. So that was the first thing. That was, you know, when I first saw the ship and I walked around it, I thought, oh, that's a little bit odd, you know, because you sort of try and make sense of things. I just couldn't make sense of them little fans there. You know, like I said, it's debris thrown in there, bits of rock, you know, maybe that's going to happen, I don't know. Just didn't make logical sense to me. That was the first thing I noticed anyway. So let's take a look round. Weaponry on the wings, quite a striking sort of design at the back there with that sort of rear section that goes up there. Very, very detailed. It's got landing legs rather than actual like landing wheels, isn't it? So this one's going to be, you're going to be coming down for landing on a vertical drop, more likely. You don't want to be flying forward. You're going to scrape them legs along the floor. Look around this side. Weapon on the front there. This one's going to be full of weapons. Obviously now this has got the option, and we can't really see it. We might see him jump up there later. To actually put a weapon up the top there as well. We don't know actually what's going to be in there. They did have that ridiculous big machine gun on there before, didn't they? Up the top there, because that's the modular sort of bit. I don't know if we can actually see it from underneath here. Oh, there we go. There we are. What do you mean, the huge hole that's there? Yeah, the huge hole. This can carry sort of all sorts of different modules. You know, the ones we're aware of are the tracker, and there's some little juddery going on there, not very nice, but there's a few variants going, so we have to wait and see. But I've no doubt Star Citizens will be releasing some other sort of, you know, center sections that you can put in there to, you know, take your ship to do a different realm. You know, rather than just doing dogfighting tracking, you know, they might give you information running modules, something like that. We'll have to wait and see. One of the things they have said, actually, they said that what they're going to be adding in at some point, which, you know, most, well, I'm going to say planes have, I know I say planes and we're on ships at the moment, is fuel tanks, additional fuel tanks that will go under the wings. So there's going to be an option maybe to change out maybe one of these weapons for a additional fuel tank. Let's have a look round. We've got landing legs here. Animations look absolutely fantastic once again. But it's a landing leg once again, so that sort of folds up into the wing there. Look around here, you can see sort of it looks like some sort of air duct coming in there. In this section. And then you've got this sort of the rear engine and these sort of 3 large flaps. Now, I've watched a couple of videos actually on the animation on how these are actually going to work in game, and they're pretty impressive, guys. These are sort of, you see all these multiple little fingers, every single one of them fingers moves, and the outer layer fingers. So what will happen is when your engine fires up, when it starts, the fins will open wide as the engine starts, and the outside flaps will go wide. And as you sort of go into the afterburner, you know, into forward mode, it will close up. But this thing would all flow and look absolutely amazing. I've seen that, as I say, I saw the animations on it, and it looks pretty blooming epic, to be honest with you. Now moving back a bit, you've got this sort of large sort of wing here. Part of the design, obviously. Let's have a look what we've got under here. Another air intake by the looks of it. Nice little lights there. Another landing leg. Rear guns. What's that there? Something a little bolted under the wing there. That's going to be a thruster or something. I'm not quite sure. Nice little lights, screen lights there. What if you're about to turn the lights off in game as well? Because obviously you don't sometimes, if you're a Hornet tracker, you don't necessarily want to be flying around with lights on, do you? So I'm sure there'd be somewhere on your dashboard to turn the lights off. Moving around the front. Let's have a look around here. Let's get under here, get stuck in, eh? Got some nice vents there as well. Obviously they're pushing, looks like they're pushing some air into the engine there. Maybe to cool it down on the outside. Got a few collars here for the center module. And going under here, we're moving into the center landing leg. I don't know if I can get under it. Just about. Got a torch, so not much I can do. Oh, that's quite odd actually. It's got 2 flaps there, look. Let me get back under there again. See that flap there? What do you think? That flap there, and that flap there. Maybe they do meet. They just look long. They look like they're going to hit each other when they close, don't they? Let's go around this side. See what it looks like from the front. We can get under here a little bit. Don't know if I can. Give it a go. Oh, you can. Quite detailed on the legs as well. I like the metal looks good actually, even though PBR's not added, but the metal looks pretty good. You know, the shininess as you would get on a shock absorber that's been, or a hydraulic ram that's been extending and de-extending. That does look pretty, you know, pretty realistic. What I would have done is, normally what happens, I don't know why I'm even saying this, guys, but normally what happens with a shock absorber, when it de-extends and extends, you get a grease line at the top, where the sort of, as it's at its minimum extend. That's, I mean, it's attention to detail. If you want to add that worn look, so it's actually looked like it's been used, that could be added on there. Probably later on. Moving around. Them fans again and the guns. So, sort of general look now. I don't know if we can get on top, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Let's see if we can jump inside. Let's find the door mechanism. Here we go. Let's have a look at that animation. Now you can see there, because obviously the 2 seats, what happened there. I'm going to actually close that again so we can see that. I don't think I can I? What actually happened there is, if you just sort of go back a little bit, the sort of rear screen and the front screen sort of lifted up, split into 2. One went forward, one went in reverse. And you can actually see, if I move back a little bit now, you can see an actual screen there now for the actual second person sitting in that rear seat. I don't think that's going to be apparent when we get up, but we'll have a look. Let's climb up and have a look. Where's the ladder? These things need a little bit of work. There we go. Nice hydraulic rams in there again. Getting inside. Now that's actually quite strange actually. What's going to be quite interesting is how the two players actually board the ship. What I mean by that, obviously when I got in there, the doors closed. What I'm assuming is going to... What I like to see in the game is I get in and I have to press something to actually close the doors rather than the doors actually closing. Otherwise, when the second person gets in, the animation sequence has to go again. I'm sure that is going to be in there. Now, look, with all fairness, everything we're looking at here is not going to be what it's going to be. So just keep in mind that all these panels and all this sort of stuff, don't forget your heads-up display is not done. What you're looking at here, really, you've got to look past the blue screens. You've got to just look at, you know, the rest of it. The animation, I know it's a little bit buggy, a little bit juddery, but it's got better than it was in the last patch. You can see there's a few switches there on my finger. Can't actually move my thumb. Probably going to get... His thumb's going to start aching holding it like that, isn't he? Then you've got the pedals down on the floor there, which do move as well. They're animated, so you can actually move them as well. Now that thing there on the side there looks like it's doing the... Oh yeah, it is. These little sort of green things, little nodules there. There's one there, and there's one there, and there's one there. He's displaying this sort of heads-up screen in front of me. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to stay in like that, because we've seen some of the animations. We know that the same guy who did Iron Man 2 is creating the heads-up displays for all the ships. From what we've seen so far in the videos, the heads-up display is actually built into your helmet as you get in. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? I mean, that's the way that we've seen in the video. Are they actually going to use this sort of screen to give you the heads-up display, or will it actually be in your, actually in your helmet? We'll have to wait and see. So, another sort of panel up there that obviously drops down, maybe comes out the side. Viewing angle looks like... I don't know if you're going to be able to do this, guys, but I wonder if you're able to adjust the seat, because we are sort of... You know, I'm quite tall. I'm 6'2", so... Well, I'm not in the game, but you know what I mean. I can't quite see over this pillar, and particularly because it's sort of a dogfighting ship, you need to be probably a little bit higher. We've got the headroom to go up. I think we need to go a little bit higher so we can see over this pillar, because you've got a bit of a blind spot there. You actually, in fact, you can't even see that way, can you? So maybe they're doing some adjustments on it, but you can see the seat adjustment or something needs adjusting there, so you can see. You could do that, but you don't want to be doing that while you're in dogfighting. So you're actually quite tunneled vision, actually, when you think about it. The viewing is okay. You might have to tip the ship down, actually, to get a view on that side. You never know. Seat adjustments might be in it. Can't see why not. Another heads-up display up the top there. Got some more displays up there. Quite a lot going on in here, actually. And we've got some small gauges over the top there. I like the fact they've added the fans in as well. Nice little touch. Nice animated mechanism there. What happened there on the ram. Let's just see how far I actually get down here now. I'm actually going to climb down the ladder, so shame. Let me just try something. Which I've done. I have managed to do it a couple of times. Run, jump. No, not going to work. Let me just get around this side. Let's have a look. Yep, okay. Wasn't expecting that, but... So I think what I'll do is when I get in, I'll change the view and we'll see if we can have a bit of a look round as well while we're up here in a different view. Just a shame the cockpit lid wouldn't stay open as well at the same time. So that's the best view. Now one of the things I do like, which Star Citizen said they're going to do, if you have a look now at my character, well, as you can see, yep, hop into the music I've got inside. Now what I do like about this is, guys, is... I mean, we know already that these character models are not done. These character models are, as Chris Roberts says, a number 4 in quality. And what we're going to end up with is going to be a 9. Because I can't remember what it's called. It was a 120-point body thing they're doing. They're putting all sensors over the bodies and they're going to make the animations absolutely epic. Now, I'll tell you why I like this, guys. First of all, the animation seems pretty good as well, the way the body's moving. But what I like about it is, if you're actually in a dogfighting situation, you've got someone next to you, and you're actually looking at them like that. You can actually, the fact that actually your body's moving and it's not a fixed object, and you're just looking in one direction. I like the fact that the character models actually move as I look round inside. So you can see now as I was having a good look round. So, I mean, can you use that to your advantage in game? If you're looking that way and there's someone behind you, to the other side of you, maybe you could use that to your advantage because they're not looking that way. But I suppose the other advantage of having someone in the rear seat, I suppose, is that, they can probably give you some information on what's going on in the battlefield as well. So that's probably a little bit of an advantage. Popped inside. Oh, there we go. See behind the seat there. Let's have a look while we're here, eh? So we can get back in there again. You see the second seat there. See the heads-up display as well in the back there. And you can see, actually, look, we can actually see there on the display. I don't even see that, guys. Just try that a bit lower. Now, see that heads-up display is slightly different to the one that we've got in the front there. It's actually got some things stuck on it. Some little sort of panels. If they're going to stay there, who knows? But I like the idea of having the co-pilot as someone who could add value to the combat experience. And what I mean by that is that person sitting in the back there could say, look, tactical with someone coming in from long range on the scanners or something like that. I mean, I like for that seat to be a coordinate, someone who's doing long distance scanning, all that sort of stuff, sitting in the back giving you information. And I think that is one of the things that I've sort of been, I say questioning, but one of the things I've been thinking about a lot lately regarding, how's multiplayer going to work? And a good example is that. I mean, it's almost like in some ways I need to make another video on the Constellation to talk about roles and then what you're actually going to be doing on the ship. I mean, because I'll give you an example. Let's just say if someone gets on the Constellation with me, I've got 4 crew. It's 4 subscribers or 4, whoever it is, comes on the ship with me. We go on the first voyage. We set off. Now, in that time that we're in space, each one of them, 3 people that are with me are going to have something to do that keeps them entertained. What you don't want to happen in the game is for one of them to get on the ship and then all of a sudden he goes, look, I'm going to go and get a cup of coffee. Let me know when we find something. How you want it to be is you want each one of them to be doing something where they can't leave their station. They have to do things all the time, not repetitive things, but things like scanning for different places, decoding stuff, trying to break different sort of encryptions of sensor readings and, all that sort of stuff that I'm hoping they bring into the game to make the sort of cooperative multiplayer part of it really good as well. Because my only fear is what we don't want to happen is to get on the Constellation or get in one of these ships where the second person really doesn't have a role. I know that there will be roles, but I don't know how much detail they're going to go into on that. I mean, Chris Robert did sort of mention one thing I did like, and I thought, I'll tell you about this. I don't know if you know it, guys, but let's say if I'm flying on the Constellation or you're flying on a ship with, let's say gravity and you can walk around. Let's just say you come under fire. There's a possibility you might catch on fire inside, and you would have to put the fire out with a fire extinguisher. Or I don't know if you remember in like Mass Effect, or some of them games, like when your ship got under attack, or you had to do sort of particular tasks like align things up to repair the leak, like a coolant leak. I'm hoping they add all them dynamics into the game, because if they do, then you're in a situation where you're flying on a ship, you come under attack, and the person doing the navigation, he's really busy scanning, trying to find a way out, but he's got to get out of his chair because he's got to go and repair the coolant leak. And that's what's going to be key for me, really, is it's all well and good me flying around the Constellation or a ship with 2 seats, but that other person's really going to have to take a role, and a role that they're going to enjoy doing to make them want to come with you, and so on. So that's why, like I said, I started the video thinking, look, I might actually have a single seater because, unless you're transporting someone, which is a possibility, but, you don't want someone to get bored to death. As long as you've got something to do in that seat, as well as, chatting to you as well at the same time, fair play, it's worth doing. So look, we've taken a sort of a quick look at it, and now, as we know, the Hornet series is going to be one of the first ones into the dogfighting module, and Chris Roberts said the Constellation will probably follow, which I thought was quite surprised about that. I thought they would have maybe done the 325, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it could be a couple of months after, we don't really know yet, we'll have to wait and see. What model is going to go into dogfighting? We'll have to wait and see. I would have said that Oh, they'll probably go for one entry level, maybe the basic one first of all, and then sort of up it from there and then see how it goes. I mean, the dogfighting is the pivotal part about the persistent universe. I know it's not that part of it, but it's the start of the biggest part of it. I always said the planet side for Star Citizens was going to be the easy part because the cryo engine, you know, already was well capable of doing planet side weaponry and character animations. But one thing that it hasn't really done is space. So I think dogfighting is going to be the ultimate test. So I'm looking forward to it. We all get, by the sounds of it, we're all going to get a Hornet. Everyone who's pledged in for pre-alpha, alpha, and beta, you get a ship. You're about to enter a dogfighting arena, even though if you haven't got one. So which is good news. So it's not like, oh, you can only fly if you've got, you know, if you've got the ship. So that's a good thing. I think the Hornet and the Aurora is probably one of the most popular ships. And one of the things that I would like to see at some point, we know we have nearly, what, 350,000 people now signed up for alpha and pre-alpha. I would like to see the ship statistics. Although there's speculation on what they could be, I like to see the real stats, guys. I want to see how many Yggdrasil Ps and how many Yggdrasil and you know, and how many Hornets and how many Constellations. You know, what's the world's fleet count? What is it? I suppose the pivoting point around that is if we go back to the Star Citizens website, we still have not got the fleet list in our organisation. So maybe that's something they're still working on. I'm sure once that's released, someone out there should be able to do a calculation or work out somehow, you know, what is the total amount of ships in the universe and what are they? Because it'd be quite an interesting thing to see as well. I'll be quite interested to see which ships. I mean, the other ship that actually, I'm not going to say is on par with this. It is on par, isn't it? It's the Vandal Scythe, isn't it? Obviously, that's going to be pretty epic as well. I think we've had a good look around it today, guys. I'm going to have a look at the couple of other ones as well. I'm probably going to I want to take a look at the tracker. I said that in one of my other videos as well. I'm quite interested about that. I'm going to have a good look on the forum to sort of, you know, understand a little bit more of how the tracker can actually be used. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.